I'm Angelina, and this is my Unit 8 project. So the question I will be exploring is what college that has a good interior design program should you go to based off of your preferences for city living and college stats? So a few introductory questions. Why this topic? Well, it's my major. It's what I will be pursuing when I go to college, and I plan on pursuing interior design as a career after I graduate. So I have a little bit more of a bias towards researching a project that has to do with that. What valuable sharings can I produce for my community? Hopefully, I can help with high school seniors. They realize the values that they may have when it comes to living somewhere new, like if they value good weather, if they value low crime rate, also valuing certain college stats, like if they value graduation rate or tuition, like a score of tuition, and how affordable it is. And I hope that my project may also help seniors majoring in interior design pick what school that they want to go to that can really help them with their specific major. Some goals when exploring this topic. I hope to find preferences in city living that I can incorporate into a weighted algorithm and create a weighted algorithm that will help persuade seniors to choose what college they want to go to based off of the rankings that the algorithm provides. So the plan step by step. To collect data, I wanted to utilize a class-provided website, Data Commons, that we have used in a previous project to gather data on city stats. I wanted to research 10 different schools with good interior design programs and look up the city data for those where the colleges are, look up the city data for that. And then rank them based off of my preferences using a weighted algorithm to see what college I would be the best match for me personally. And then extending out that Google sheet to anyone who wants to use it to see for them what college would be ranked best for them based on their preferences. There was some data cleaning that I had to do. Unfortunately, when doing research, a lot of good interior design schools tend to be in New York. And so I had to just pick one school from New York because a lot of them were in New York City. I just had to pick one and focus on that one. And I did have to look past some of the other colleges that I researched just because I wanted to focus on one city per college. So I will be using a weighted algorithm for my model for my project. Why am I using it? Well, for the data I'm using, a weighted algorithm is an ideal model to be used since I'm not comparing two separate variables. What will I be using as my main source of technology? I will be using Google Sheets for basically everything. And then my data sources are linked below: Google Sheets, 2 websites, and Data Commons. So for analyzing, what was the process of collecting my data? I inputted 7 different variables regarding each of the cities and colleges mentioned, for example, weather, low crime rate, graduation rates, things like that. And then I scored those rankings from 0 to 100, the best being the highest number per variable. For example, good weather would be closer to 100 versus bad weather, where that would be closer to 0. And then I will use a separate Google Sheet to create a weighted algorithm, which ranks the colleges from 0 to 100 based off of the preferences set and weighted by the user. What does this data suggest? Well, the findings are very versatile because it's very preference-based. However, for example, if a student did not have any sort of value when it came to, or any sort of preference when it came to moving somewhere new, they could weigh all of the data I collected evenly and rank it highest to lowest, and New York School of Interior Design would come up. As you can see on the picture on the left, that is what that data is doing. The data on the right is more preference-based. Let's say a student has a value for employment rate after graduation. They want a job as soon as they graduate. It's a very valid thing to prioritize. And so they rank that 50%, and everything else they rank, or they weigh it evenly, which comes out to 8.3. And then they rank highest to lowest. Once again, they get New York School of Interior Design. Now, I think New York School of Interior Design is like one of the top 3 colleges for interior design, so it kind of makes sense context-based that it comes up in both runs that I'm showing here as the top school. Some data ethics. What is one limitation I may have had? Well, one limitation of my data may be the inaccuracy of the tuition costs. Not only did I have to limit myself to in-state tuition, which may be inaccurate for the user, but I also had to use a fixed number when I'm aware that the cost of tuition can be different for everyone depending on how many scholarships or merits someone may receive, what meal plan they choose to have, housing, things like that. I understand that that can be very inaccurate and misleading data because I had to pick just a fixed set number when it's very changeable for every single student. And something I could have done to make my data more broad, I definitely could have made it more broad if I had chosen a different college major to focus on. Interior design isn't the most popular major, and I understand that. If I wanted to make it more broad, I could have done like psychology or business, something like that, or I could have just done like the top 10 colleges in the United States, just all across all majors. However, I wanted to stick to interior design because that's what I'm majoring in and that's what I want to focus on. So I had a more bias towards that. And that's it. Thank you.